more about how you got into advertising.
Well, I got into advertising like most people do. They were looking for work. My family was rather poor. I lost my dad, and I had to go to work
I'm sorry.
in an office building. I was very lucky to be a mail boy in a major advertising agency. They called it BBDO.
That actually happened? Like, I thought
yeah,
the whole mail boy thing was just like a
happened.
myth.
And what I did was I went from literally from living in Brooklyn to wind up, actually delivering mail to about 125 people.
It's just like how to succeed in business without
It
even
was
trying.
how
That's
to
crazy.
succeed in the mail room.
Wait, was this like during the Mad Men era? Were you like a madman?
I was part of the madman era.
You guys, he's a madman! Everybody run!
They brought me into this large mail room with all these little boxes and names.
Wow.
And what I had to do is they would pile all these things with carbon paper all over the boxes. And then when I got
What's carbon paper though?
Carbon paper is actually it's a piece of paper that's very, very, very thin.
Okay.
And it actually when you write on this side, it comes on the other side. But people used it for typing. So what they do is.
Why? Why would you want to like make your writing come out of it? That's really weird.
Well,
man.
because you see, we didn't have telephone. We had telephones.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
but we
that
only
long
had
ago.
typewriters like Royals. And sometimes then they went become electric. We didn't have electronic mail. So what happened was people used to have to take carbon paper and put it in between all these individuals of paper.
Are you telling me that like they couldn't have a copy of something unless they used this carbon paper?
That's right. And for 50, 60 years,
What?
everybody used to have to wait because people typed on paper.
On paper?
And underneath the first paper, there was carbon paper, second paper, white paper, carbon paper, third paper, white paper, carbon paper. And sometimes it went as far as 4 and 5. But in offices, you didn't have any electronic devices. So after they wrote a memo of some kind, everybody on that page, whether they were on the first floor, the second floor, third, we had to get all those individual copies to all those executives.
Wait, I think I get it. So if you grew up in the era when everybody had to make carbon copies of things, making copies of things seems like it would be really expensive, right? You have to use a lot of paper, a lot of carbon paper, and maybe that's why a lot of people are like, oh, when you make a copy of my show or my music or something like that, you shouldn't do that because that's stealing from me. But nowadays when you make a copy, it's not expensive to anybody. It's free, basically. Anybody can make a copy of anything.
We don't use paper anymore.
I know, we don't. Do you think that's why they think it's stealing when somebody tries to make a copy of your stuff?
Well, here's the thing. The person who thinks that someone has stolen their work, there's a 99% chance that they stole their work from somebody, let's say creatively borrowed it, because there's no such thing as stealing.
You may not have new ideas, but I have new ideas. That's what punk is all about. It's about having new ideas that aren't even touched by corporations.
Give me an example.
Well, we wear like skull and crossbones, and that's like hardcore. That's new.
What does that mean?
It means like you don't take any shit from anybody.
Oh, well, do you think I could ever become
Punk rock?
a punky?
I don't think we call them punkies, but I think it would be pretty fun if you became punk rock.
Well, I have a sort of a flair for rhythm.